You've been in that room. Everyone sees the same uncomfortable truth, but nobody is willing to say it out loud. We usually call that cowardice, but Harvard psychologist Steven Pinker argues it is actually a deliberate, hardwired mechanism in your brain. Pinker calls this phenomenon common knowledge. It means it is not enough to simply know a fact. You have to know that everyone else around you knows it too. While it sounds like a philosophical riddle, this specific layer of awareness provides the structural foundation for how humans coordinate in groups. Take the physical objects we trust every single day. A stack of paper money has absolutely zero intrinsic value. A dollar only works because of an unbroken psychological chain. You accept it as payment entirely because you know that the next person knows it has value. Look at what happens the exact second that chain of trust snaps. During a bank run, nobody's actual financial data changes. The math is identical to the day before. The only thing that collapses is the shared belief holding the system together. Common knowledge functions as the invisible infrastructure that makes money, laws, and language possible in the first place. Logically, if shared awareness is this powerful, we should want to maximize transparency everywhere. Yet humans go to extreme, exhausting lengths to prevent it. Pinker refers to this behavior as controlled ambiguity. It is why a mob boss doesn't directly ask for extortion money, but instead says, "Nice shop you have here. Be a shame if something happened to it." Both parties understand the exact meaning of the threat, but by keeping the extortion off the official record, both people maintain plausible deniability. No crime can actually be proven. This exact same mechanism governs high-level society. It explains why a coworker carefully praises a terrible idea, and why international diplomats rely on doublespeak. The goal of most human communication is not clarity. We are actively mastering how to convey a message perfectly without triggering the hard consequences of common knowledge. Now apply this framework to its destructive side. What happens when one of those dormant, unspoken rules is violently forced out into the open? Imagine a baseline moral norm where thousands privately agree a specific behavior is wrong. They remain paralyzed, not realizing everyone else secretly agrees. Then comes the trigger. A public statement shatters that isolation, making the shared agreement instantly undeniable to the network. Once a rule becomes common knowledge, enforcing it becomes compulsory. Now that everyone knows the rule, failing to join the enforcement makes you look like a sympathizer or the next potential target. The resulting mob is driven by coordination and self-preservation. Bystanders join the attack simply to prove they aren't complicit. This frames online cancel culture as a predictable, mechanical reaction to a specific common knowledge event. Pinker's framework provides a consistent explanation for why complex networks, from social media to financial markets, can suddenly spiral out of control. But here is where the book falls short. It perfectly diagnoses the disease, but entirely fails to provide an exit strategy or a prescription for individuals trying to navigate it. So, what do you actually do with this? You must start ruthlessly observing the gap between what people privately believe and what they publicly acknowledge. That gap is a high-stakes zone where market crashes trigger, relationships shift, and leadership changes occur. Which leaves a haunting question. How many truths do you currently hold that are just dormant, waiting for a common knowledge event to make them undeniably real? And when that room finally speaks up, where will you be standing?